Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Boredom Busters. It's episode 96 today, right? We didn't change the number, so it's episode 96.
That's still on just
Wow, my goodness, I still have the welcome to the show thing. Our producer isn't here, so we're trying to make it work without her.
It's really hard.
I'm Josh, this is Evie. We're here in the Roanoke Valley Family Studios. Welcome and happy Father's Day weekend to everybody out there. It is pretty cool that it is the last day of spring and lots of fun things that we have planned for the weekend, and it starts tonight for a lot of you guys. Today would have been our Royal Ball. It's about 6:30. We would have been actually welcoming people into the ball right now. Our Royal Ball normally starts at 6 o'clock, so people would have been at the Taubman Museum having a good time as of right now. And it's not happening. But you know what you can still do? You can still go see Elsa and Anna. Elsa and Anna are the movie Frozen 2 is being shown tonight for free at the Salem Civic Center, courtesy of the Salem Parks and Recreation Department, which is awesome. And you can go there and get ballpark food from the Salem Red Sox. Other concessions will be available. It's a drive-in movie. All you got to do is just drive up. It's free to attend. And you get to see Elsa and Anna on the big screen, courtesy of Salem Parks and Recreation. So that's really, really cool. And the movie starts around dusk. So you can get down there now, get some food first from the Salem Red Sox, and then watch the movie when it gets dark, which won't be for another 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah, it starts at 9.
Starts at 9?
Yes.
But it gets dark at 9?
Yes.
Okay, Evie's been timing it. Tomorrow's the longest day of the year.
Yeah.
So you get the most daylight of the year tomorrow. But that's awesome. So tonight at the ballpark and Salem Civic Center out in Salem, you'll be able to see that movie for free. So in addition, we've got a lot of crafts listed on our website for Father's Day. There's 25 homemade crafts available online on our website that you can do for Father's Day. Lots of different activities, everything from art pieces to cards and lots of other things that you can do. 25 different pieces available on our website, Roanoke.family. One of the first things you'll see is 25 crafts for Father's Day. Check it out if you need a last-minute homemade gift for Dad. And then you can check out 2 videos from this prior week. So earlier in the week we did oh, we don't have it next to us. We got one. We didn't finish Salvage Fight. But so early in the week we did our Father's Day tie card, and you can watch the video on how to make this. That was on Monday. I think we did that on Monday. And then last night we did a Father's Day shaving cream card with Tobby. So you can watch that video. That's on our Facebook page as well. Tobby from the Taubman Museum of Art. So check those 2 activities out, as well as our list of 25 activities for Father's Day that you can do. So make sure Dad gets a homemade gift. So just check it out. Lots of different options for you and your kids to make. For dads or granddads or whoever else may need a Father's Day card. So with that being said, I mean, crafts and art go hand in hand. Today we have a couple of teachers who have started an art summer camp joining us in just a minute. They are starting this Art Encounters summer camp. It starts next week and it goes for 5 weeks. And there's 5 different, I guess, topics or 5 different camps. So each week is a different focus, and they've created this whole just opportunity for kids to enjoy the arts this summer. Heather Marshall and Annette Lloyd will be joining us in just a few moments to talk about how you can register for it, what you can expect at the summer camp, and just in general how they came up with it. So before we begin with them, before we get them on the air, we want to remind you that tomorrow night we'll be playing Mario Kart live on the air right here on this lovely television, and we invite you guys to join us. We'll put our friend code up tomorrow afternoon. All you got to do is friend us, and then we will join. We will create a room. You can join in the fun, and we'll start racing away for a little bit tomorrow night around 6:15. We do that pretty much every weekend. It's a lot of fun. Join us. Maybe get your dad, or get all the kids out, and just grab a remote and play with us. It's a lot of fun, and it starts about 6:15 tomorrow night. So check that out. Don't forget to put that to check us out tomorrow night. And then on Sunday, we will be online for Father's Day. I don't know what we'll be doing for Father's Day. Probably not that much. We didn't do much on Mother's Day. Probably won't do much on Father's Day, but we'll see. And we'll be online as well on Sunday. Last but not least, before we get to Art Encounters, on Tuesday is our 100th straight episode. So we've done this show now for 100 straight days. Well, not quite. It'll be Tuesday. It was 100 straight days during this pandemic. So we have brought different interviews and news to you guys every night for 100 straight nights. And on Tuesday night, we're going to have a 100th night pizza party. And what does that mean? Well, we have a couple cousins that will be coming over and staying with us next week. So we are going to have a pizza party taste test. So we're going to be getting pizzas from a bunch of different places because pizza is my favorite food. And, why not? It's Father's Day weekend, and we can extend that till Tuesday, right? So we're going to be getting pizza from a bunch of different places, and we're going to be taste testing them live on air and trying to guess where they come from, which restaurants they come from. So check it out on Tuesday night. We'll be live with a 100th episode pizza party, so it'll be awesome. Don't miss it, and we'll eat enough pizza for all of us, don't worry. So what we're going to do now is we're going to bring in Heather Marshall and Annette Lloyd from Art Encounters, talk to them a little bit about their summer camp and what is going on. So let's bring this up, and my producer is gone for the day, so we'll just see if I can figure out how to make this work. Well, I kind of did, but I'm not kind of not. So hold on a second. Let's see. Whoops, we're going to mute that. Yep, hold on. All right, I think we might have it all worked out. I don't know. But you guys are online, but can you guys get a little bit closer? Social distancing might not be good. There you go, because the way our split screen works is actually not, it cuts off your face on the right. But you're good now. You're good now. Nope, move over the other way. Other way. There you go. Awesome. Awesome. So Heather and Annette, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing?
We're well. We're doing well. Yeah.
Awesome. Are you guys ready for the camp next week?
We are. Yes, we got together today. We had our own kids making a lot of art, and it went well, so we're super excited. It's always more difficult to teach our own child. Yes, it is.
I bet so. So you guys are teachers. What do you normally, obviously you normally teach art, I'm assuming.
Okay, we are both Roanoke City Public School teachers, and we have been colleagues at William Fleming High School. I joined William Fleming in 2013. It's been there since...
I've been there since 2007.
Yeah, so we spend the regular school year with high school students. We both teach grades 9 through 12, and we teach a variety of levels. We also have done RCPS Plus, which is our summer school program. We've taught art with that for several years, and we have experience with both elementary and middle school with those age groups. So we have a wide range of experience. I've also taught adjunct at Virginia Western. So just, I love art education. It's a passion of mine, and there's benefits at all age levels. So lots of experience here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Awesome. So tell us a little bit about why you guys decided to start the camp this year, and what kind of motivated you guys to create Art Encounters and give everybody an opportunity to enjoy art this summer.
Well, as public school teachers, we understand kind of this chasm that's been created because of the virus. And public school not only provides incredible educational opportunities, but it provides socialization for these kids. And we both have our own children, and we have just realized there's a huge need to keep kids engaged, for them to have a purpose. And so we just started talking about how we could provide this. Like, we could really meet some needs here for these students to get out some creativity, to get some things going on paper, to get them out of their own minds, and just to get them around other kids in a safe environment while following COVID-19 precautions.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, when you have a school-age child, you have a lot of friends with school-age children. And I think a lot of people have talked about the effects of isolation on their kids. And now that things are starting to open back up, we did want to try and provide a safe opportunity with a limited amount of spots for children to get back into it. And it also could help to prepare them for returning to school in the fall. My child has been on what I call eternal summer since March. So he's, I think, forgotten about what that's like, the structure, maybe going back into the classroom and your teacher now has a mask on and there's a lot more distance and you can't physically interact in the ways that you used to. So coming to a camp like this is a good preparatory step for children.
Because it's one thing, like my child, she just turned 8, she understands social distancing. It's one thing to understand it, it's one thing to practice it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a struggle for everybody, I'm sure, for teachers, for younger kids, older kids. My kids are a little bit older, 15 and 13, but it's a struggle for everybody. And I think people are still getting used to it. And like you said, eternal summer. I think even though tomorrow is the first day of summer, I think everyone's been on summer break a little bit for a couple months now, unfortunately.
Summer vacation mentality versus the summer season.
Yes, it's a little different.
Vacation mentality has been there for a while, despite my
So tell us, what's the name Art Encounters? How did that come to be, and kind of why did you choose that as the name for your camp this summer?
Okay, well, I think I have found in the classroom that a lot of times students view art or being successful in art as coming up with a product that looks a lot like realism, okay? And we teach elective classes, so you sometimes get kids in your classes that aren't into art or aren't as familiar with it or comfortable with it, so you really have to find how to engage everyone in it. And it becomes that the experience of creating art, the experience of introducing kids to different artists and techniques and processes that have been developed over the years, and to really break them out of the mode of thinking that, you know, there's just this one way that art is supposed to look to be successful. So that's where the encounter piece comes in. Okay. I think art is really valuable for many reasons beyond just the product. So that's why we wanted to call it Art Encounters. We also do have the ambition to continue doing workshops and classes throughout the regular school year. We obviously, because of the industry that we're in, know a lot of educators, we know a lot of artists, we know a lot of people that want to bring their perspective to other people. So we plan to continue to use Art Encounters for that as well.
That's great. So you mentioned about you know, art having benefits, not just the final product. Tell us, I mean, does it benefit kids that, you know, maybe are indifferent to art? That I have one daughter that loves art and one daughter that's, you know, not so much. So does it benefit kids that are involved in art and not involved in art as well?
Yes, I would say that, again, coming back to the name Art Encounters, a lot of times when kids think of art, they might only think of a couple different avenues of art, painting, color, you know. But that's why we've structured our camp to expose them to a variety of different art forms. So maybe they think they're not into art, but they haven't started making it, or they haven't done watercolor yet. And that could open up a whole avenue for them. So we've worked to try to incorporate some definite skill building and still allow that creativity, so it's individualistic. So if a child doesn't feel like they're good at art or they're very interested in art, perhaps there's just not something they have discovered that speaks that interest.
Mm-hmm. And again, coming back to the encounter. And if we could, I don't know if you can see up on the wall here, but we have the project. These are, let me see. We have a project that we did with our 2 children today, okay? Okay. So we were working with ink. I don't know if you can see it.
You can see that, yeah.
So just to give you an example of how our philosophy works, we introduced a technique of trying to create trees and branches through blowing ink. And, you know, we talked about line weight, we talked about value. So my son, his turned into this gnarly tree monster. All right. So he ended up drawing eyes on it and a mouth and stuff like that. And her daughter had, has the ground there. It looks more like kind of like a beach driftwood type scene.
Sure.
So it's just an example of how you can really take a technique and you can give them those tools and then allow them to experiment and explore and go off in their direction with it. And I think that's really where the benefit of art practice comes in. We call them the habits of mind in art, excuse me. So with exploration, discovery, persistence, perseverance.
And structure.
Yeah, structure, reflection. So at the end, you can talk about with the children, like all their different solutions that they came up with. And it's great stuff. And these are skills that they can take into any area of their life. To have to try something you're unfamiliar with and persevere through it is a skill that you can take into anything.
Sure, absolutely, and that's a good example behind you with the different art style. I mean, same art project, different result. So it helped them kind of helps you see, maybe what's in how people take different imagery and different. You can take the same picture and two people can paint it and obviously make it look completely different.
Yes. And that should be embraced. I mean, in that way, what you do is never really wrong. But I mean, you can talk about composition. You can talk about making something look finished. You can talk about neatness, quality, and stuff like that. But your vision and where you take it is never really wrong.
Gotcha. No, that makes perfect sense. My daughter my older one's very much artistic, and she tries something new all the time, new projects. She did the blowing ink thing one time. Every day she's doing something new in her room, whether it's blowing ink or some kind of project with tissue paper or paint, and just it's I don't even know how we have so many art supplies, but I don't know how we can fit them all.
I mean, really anything can become an art supply. Yes. And when it comes to the habits of mind you gain from art, we would call that stretch and explore.
Yeah.
And it's really developing the ability to look at things and think about them in a different way, and to not limit the way that you would utilize them.
Right.
You stretch and explore with those materials. And again, that's another one of those things that can extend over into programming, or just any field you go into, really.
Yeah, I tease her all the time because of that, because everything she does is some sort of artistic element to it, where we go out shopping for clothes and she has to buy a old denim jacket because she wants to paint the back of it.
Yes.
And it's everything. I mean everything. And I have to always tell her, I was like, sometimes it doesn't have to be artistic. It just has to get done. I know you might not like that, but she'll go to the point where it's like we're cleaning the house and she'll try to organize things in rainbow color, and I'm like, let's just make it neat.
Yes. And if you have an organized artist, that is really special.
It is.
She's not organized. She likes to pretend she is by putting things in the color of the rainbow and things. She's definitely not organized.
Yeah.
That's funny. But so tell us a little bit about the 5 different. You got 5 weeks. Tell us about what the 5 types of art that you'll be doing over those 5 weeks, so people can kind of get an idea of what you're offering.
Yeah. Okay. Our first week focuses on drawing materials. With that, we want to try and push the kids for some technical skills, such as shading and rendering, things that are a little more on the technical side. We are going to do more organic line projects like we did with the ink right here. And we're going to talk a lot about mark making and drawing. And go with someone who in his preparatory sketches did a lot of different types of mark making, and use a lot of different tools and materials, different size tips, colors, things like that, in order to explore texture and mark making. Okay. Our second week is watercolor. Watercolor is a very versatile material. There's a lot of different processes you can use with it. We want the children to learn to explore with wet into wet techniques, wet over dry, using amorphous shape and then cutting those out, creating a project out of those. There's wax resist techniques that you can use, incorporating crayon. So we have our projects planned based on some of those techniques. And I just want to add here, in each week, we kind of want to gear our projects something that's more towards the realistic and something that's more towards the abstract. Again, our thing is to really create an encounter, so we want to introduce a range of possibilities to the students without overwhelming them, because we've seen what happens when you give too much, you know. But the whole point, you know, is we want to break people out of thinking that there's really this one way to think about what art is and why or what art that's valuable looks like.
And then printmaking kind of backs up to the next week, which is very clean lines. Tends to be.
Okay.
I think it is too.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's drawing, printmaking, watercolor.
But printmaking and watercolor are great to go back to back because printmaking is a whole different process. They get to experience like a physicality to make art that's really nice. And that's really fun for a lot of kids because they haven't gotten to experience that. I know my own child hasn't even gotten to do that, so she's excited to do that as well. And then oil pastel I love oil pastel. It's all about layering color, and there's so many different things you can do with that.
Yeah. And then you also can do reductive techniques where you put the oil pastel down and you peel out of it. So we talk about repetitive techniques and reductive techniques. And then the way that and the last one is mixed media collage, which offers a lot of versatility. And there's really interesting artists like Vic Moniz that are using these mediums, like creating portraits out of trash that he finds and things like that. So there's just a whole realm of possibility there when it comes to the stretch and explore aspect of art making.
And again, that exposes kids to going out. Anything you find can become art. You know, you just have that mindset. And what a cool thing to give them that tool when they go out and explore.
Yeah. Let me emphasize when we say, like, you know, there's a lot of possibility within art, that we are not teachers that do not want quality out of the student artwork. So we are very passionate about what we do. We see a lot of possibility in what we do, and we feel like the most meaning comes from when a student connects with the material and what they're doing. The student has to have that investment in the project. So yeah, we've learned to build those relationships with students over the years and to make that happen. That's what we want the encounter to be for them. So yeah, so it's, you know, we're not gonna just let kids come in and say whatever, it's art, you know. So we do have standards. We will want them to think about things like composition and color balance, all the principles and elements of art. We'll ask them, what do you think you could do differently? What do you think you could do more? The space looks empty here. So there's a lot of critical thinking that is involved in it as well. So we're just very passionate about it. So.
That's great. I mean, you definitely. I mean, you can tell. I mean, you're talking a lot about art, and a lot of people. I mean, things that I wouldn't even think about. Obviously, you have a great understanding and a great passion for it, and that makes I'm sure makes you a wonderful teachers. And I guess you'll be teaching a whole wide range of kids in just a few days, I guess, on Monday. So how can people sign up for the camp? Tell us, I guess, what's the easiest way for people to get to you?
We do have some advertising with links with your organization. And we have an Art Encounters Facebook page that you can find. We
also have a website called artencounters2020.wixsite.com. That's WIXSITE.com. But if you can find us on Facebook, all the information's there. And we've even had some people reach out to us and message the page, and that's fun.
Yeah. Awesome. You can email us, artencounters2020@gmail.com. We will send you the link to the website. You can do all of your registration through the website. It's very easy.
It takes 5 minutes or less.
We've gotten really good feedback about the programs that we've used for that. So that's all there is to it.
There is a discount for children of first responders, nurses, or educators.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Could I also say about social distancing?
Yes, that's
let me touch on that, because I know a lot of people are still really worried. And I know everybody's probably thinking about what's going to happen with school when we go back in the fall. And again, we really view this as a way to slowly get your kids back into coming to a place where there's going to be some structure. They're going to have teachers. They're going to have other kids around. So we are going to have physical activity for the kids, but it's no contact physical activity. They're all going to have their own workspace. We have limited the enrollment so that even when we meet our maximum of 10 per group, we would have 2 groups. We're in a gymnasium, so there's a lot of space. We will wear masks. We'll be taking temperatures at the door, so if anyone has a fever, they won't be allowed to come to camp that day, or probably the consecutive days. That'll have to be checked out.
Yes.
What else? Oh, we're disposable meals. No sharing of materials. We're small enough that we can have the students have their own materials.
And this is why if someone is interested, it's important to get in touch, because we have had to limit it this year. But we still felt like we were convicted to do something to get art back into these kids' lives and get them creative and get them thinking about other things than the virus. We need to do it in a safe way, and we are going to take every precaution we can to do that. I can tell you the location we are at has provided CDC cleaner guidelines, so we cleaned appropriately and that kind of thing. So.
Yeah. It's going to be a concern for everybody, going forward, whether it be, this month or next month, or August or September when kids go back to school. Obviously, it's going to be on the forefront of everyone's mind. I don't think it's going away anytime soon, unfortunately. And I'm glad to hear you guys are figuring out ways to do something in person, but at the same time maintain those guidelines that'll help keep everyone safe.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So keeping it small, keeping it safe, and quality, and keeping it quality. So those are our goals. Yep.
Awesome. That's phenomenal. So what we're going to have, obviously, we're going to be posting about your camp throughout the course of the next few days. And we'll have the information in the comments down below, and obviously this video will be shared as well a couple of times throughout the course of the next week. And maybe we'll stop by, if it's okay with you guys, on Monday and take a couple photos, not of the kids, but of some art stuff going on, so that we can help promote future days and future camps for you as well. So we'll be in touch with you about that later this weekend at some point. But we want to make sure that there's not a lot of camps have canceled this summer, so you guys not only just our camps, but you guys are a new camp and one of the few that are actually up and going full force.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, we want to provide an outlet for your children. So, and I have to tell you, as a teacher, the way that school just ended, we miss the students. That's what makes teaching such a rewarding profession, an enjoyable profession. We
were just talking about that before we went live, just how much we miss doing what we do. I think it all kind of hit us hard when it happened, but then over the last 2 months, we've been like, oh,
it just keeps going.
We miss our kids.
We miss teaching. What can we do realistically to start to, get back to it. So here we are.
I know kids that are adults are excited, but I think we're more excited just to get to do what we love. So.
Yeah.
I can imagine. I know my wife used to be a teacher. I don't think she would be. She likes the summer, but I don't think she would like to have it extended 2 months without her, 2 or 3 months without her, without her approval of it, without her acceptance of it,
Yeah.
So awesome. So we appreciate you guys joining us, and we will definitely be promoting it over the course of the next couple days. So everybody who's watching, if you do want to get more information on Art Encounters Summer Camp, look at the comments below, but also check out our page, as we'll be posting a couple links to your webpage and a couple links to the sign up page and things like that throughout the course of the weekend. And then I guess Monday's the big day, so hopefully you guys will get back to your teaching roots and enjoy some new students. And we'll see if we can get more students for you over the course of the next few weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes. Guys, take care. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too. Bye. Thank you.
I can't touch my screen. I'm trying to touch my screen. Oh, technology. I'm like, what is going on? What's going on? Oh my goodness. I'm just not. I don't even know what's going on there, guys. I was trying to touch the screen and my computer to end the call, but that obviously doesn't work because it's not a touch screen. Oh my goodness. It's been a long week. It's been a long week. Everyone sees my shirt. We're talking about the Houston Astros.
We were?
Yeah, we are. We're talking.
We are?
No, we're going to. This is a reference to the Houston Astros and how they used Band-Aids to have buzzers on their shirts or underneath their shirts so that they could feel the pitches coming, like you're playing on a Switch with the vibrating controllers. Yeah. That's how they cheated. So
Isn't it not proven technically?
It's technically not proven because Major League Baseball didn't
proof of pictures.
Really investigate it. Yeah, but you have pictures of players with little things taped to their chest, and you have Jose Altuve holding his shirt to not let it get ripped off because he doesn't want everybody to see the wire on his chest. So, Houston, you stink. I don't like you. But hey, it's Father's Day weekend. I'm going to say baseball. Hopefully, it's coming back. Who knows? We'll see. And then everybody can boo the Houston Astros constantly. Anyway, it is time for us to go. Yankee number 96 every day. We talk about which one's the best player. No one's ever worn the number 96. So guess what? Evie, best player to ever wear the number 96. Great job, Evie. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So
really big honor.
Again, you still have time to go join Frozen 2 over at the Salem Civic Center. Head over there right now.
Actually, the gates haven't opened yet.
Yeah, the gates for the movie actually haven't even opened yet. You can
7:30.
You can get there and get food, but the gates for the movie haven't opened yet. So head on over to the Salem Civic Center. It looks like a pretty good night. Free movie, get some outdoor food. You can just tune in the radio on your car or whatever, and watch and listen to Frozen 2 for free, courtesy of the Salem Parks and Rec Department. So that's about it for tonight, everybody. We will see you tomorrow night for episode 97, Mario Kart Live. Keep your eyes open as we put our friend code up there tomorrow throughout the course of the day, and you can join us and have some fun. So that's it. Stay safe, wash your hands, and we'll see you tomorrow for episode 97. Take care.